What's up, everybody? Hope everybody's having an awesome Wednesday. I just wanted to come live and share a couple things that were on my heart today. I uh, just finished a Live Free mentorship session with an amazing young man who I'm working with, and we were just talking about some things, and this idea, formulated in that during that conversation, and I was just telling him, he was carrying the weight of other people's opinions on his shoulders and causing him to really base his decisions in life off what other people were going to think. And during that conversation, I was just telling him, I said, who you work on being the best version of who you are for you, you know, for the value that you can add to other people when they come in contact with you, how you make them feel, what you inspire them to do in life. And, you're not going to be for everybody. You won't be because everyone's different. But who you are has nothing to do with the way they perceive you. Ultimately, it's more dependent on their perspective of life, their perception, the lens in which they see life through. you know, and I said in the caption, some people may view you as a villain, but others may view you as a hero. Your story may inspire some and not inspire others, depending on what their goals and ambitions are in life. You may be, you know, weak and vulnerable to one, like yesterday when I cried on my Facebook Live. I was sharing yesterday, I was talking about some things that just triggered some emotions in me, and I got emotional. I cried. I never cried on Facebook before. Um, and some people may have seen that as weak and, vulnerable. Other people may have seen that as, kind and inspiring and, you know, but it didn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It doesn't change who I am. It doesn't change who he is, the way others view him. That doesn't mean don't work on yourself. That doesn't mean don't become the best version of who you can be. You're not doing it to impress other people. You're not becoming the best version of who you are because of what other people are going to think about that. You're becoming the best version of who you are for you and for the people around you, your family, the people that you come in contact with, the way you're able to add value to other people's lives through who you are. The more valuable you become, the bigger difference you can make in the people's life who matter on your journey. And my wife and I were talking about this last night. We had a long conversation in reference to just happiness. And some people just have a default emotion of happiness, gratefulness, um, gratitude. Some people naturally are conditioned to have a default attitude of uh, anger and disappointment, and they look for the negativity in life. Like they feed off of like drama and um, conflict. And it's, sometimes it's interesting how people are like that, and they tend to attract those things into their life because of who they are. And we can all work on ourselves as in our perspective, in our paradigm, and how we see life and the lens in which we see life through. We can work on that ourselves, and that changes everything for us. That's what makes us human. Outside of our vision, our perspective, outside of our mind, anything outside of our mind, you could find on an animal. You could find on an orangutan or something. Our minds is what makes us who we are as humans. Our ability to perceive. Wayne Dyer says if you change the way you look at something, what you're looking at changes. Because see, it's not what is, it's how we perceive it. And that's everything. That's people, that's events, that's experiences. It's how we perceive those. You may experience one thing in life a certain way, and another person, you may get on a roller coaster and have the time of your life, and it's the most exciting thing. And another person may shit their pants because they're scared to death and never want to ride that thing again. Same experience, two different perspectives. It's but that's everything in life. It's everything is how you your unique experience to that individual, that you know anything. So when you're going through your life, you know, don't feel like you need some sort of outcome to feel a certain way. Like I was talking yesterday about my dream board. Like, yeah, destinations are exciting to think about, but you can't wait for these external circumstances to create the joy and happiness in your life. Otherwise, you're going to be waiting forever because the carrot is always dangling. There's always going to be more that you can accomplish. There's always going to be more that you can acquire. It's not about the stuff, it's who you become in the process. It's not about what other people think about the things that you're doing in life, the things that you have in life. It's how you, it's what you want out of this life. Other people are going to think what they're going to think. That other people are going to talk, they're going to think, they're going to have their own perspectives. They may share those perspectives with you, they may not, they may keep it to themselves, but all these people are going to think what they're going to think. Like I said, you may be the hero to one person and the villain to the other, but why does it matter? Why should that determine how you live your life? Ultimately, you just got to think there's a couple things that matter. There's a couple things that matter. Number one is like, what do you want? Like, what makes you happy? What sparks your flame? What makes you excited to take on life and get out of bed and like go after this thing? Because it's so short. Life is so short. And then who are you becoming in the process of that? Because it does matter who you become, because that's what you're going to attract. And it matters how you perceive the world, because that's your experience. That's your unique experience. But what doesn't matter is what someone else thinks about it. Outside of your family and your faith, who cares? Like, really, like think about think about your funeral. How many people are going to be there that you're concerned about? How think about how little someone think about how little people think about people after they die. Like if you realized how little people think about someone after they pass away, you would give zero shits about what anyone thinks about you right now. Now, does that mean just let yourself go and don't worry about who you're becoming and don't worry about the goals and things? Yeah, no, that doesn't mean that at all, because you're not doing those things because of what other people are going to think. See, that's where I think people get lost is they want to hit this certain status in life because of how they're going to be perceived by the world. If you're doing it for that reason, that's probably what's holding you back from ever accomplishing those things. See that the impact will always come before the income. A lot of people get caught up in like chasing the money and they wonder why they never get it. It's not the money. It's not the reasons will always come before the results. And if your reasons aren't congruent with, I'm trying to think how to explain this. Like the people that add the most value to others aren't doing it because of what they're going to get. They don't give to get. Yes, there's a law of reciprocity. Yes, the law of cause and effect, law of compensation, sowing and reaping. All that it does. It is a law, and what you put out will come back to you. And if you're adding value, you're going to be paid in proportion to that. You're going to be compensated in proportion to that. And you should always do more than you're paid for, because that's an investment in your future, right? But the people that make the biggest impacts, the people that make the biggest difference, the ones that stand out, the ones who are remembered, I can promise you that they're not doing it. They're not, the cause isn't because of what they're trying to get out of it. They give to give. They had value because it's intrinsic, and it means something to them to make a difference. They're going through this world with a mission, with a purpose, and they're passionate about that purpose. And people can sense that authenticity. They know, hey, this person is legit, like legitimately trying to make a difference in this world. When people come into contact, people don't remember what you say, people don't remember what you do, they remember how you make them feel. And when you are coming in contact with people, I gave the analogy yesterday of standing on top of a hill. Like, social media is kind of like a platform where you're standing on top of your little mountain for the time being, and people walk up to hear what you have to say, whether they're scrolling through their phone, whether they stop and listen, or whether they keep scrolling, or when the next time you're talking, do they actually watch, or do they just not? It's dependent on how you're making those people feel. Now, some people may be attracted to you and your story and your purpose and your message. Some people might not be attracted to that message, but that has nothing to do with who you are, or who you are as a person. That has to do with them and their conditioning, their upbringing, their personal philosophies, their outlook on life, and what they are hungry for to consume, the type of information that they want to consume, the type of people that they want to be connected with, the type of um, you know maybe passion and purpose that they have in their life. That has more to do with that than it has to do with who you are. Now now you can that doesn't mean don't work on yourself, don't become who the best version of yourself, who you can be. Jim Rohn says, become a millionaire not for the money, but for who you'll become in the process. But your tribe, the people who are attracted to you, are going to love you because that's what they are looking for. You're their type of person. Those are your people. But don't alter who you are to conform to what you think other people care about. Because yeah, that person may be looking for a certain thing, but there's another person that would be 100% attracted to your true, unique, authentic self. But as soon as you start trying to change and conform to the masses, as soon as you start trying to fit in and emulate someone else, or copy this person, or be like this person, you're taking away from who you are. And then, even if you do win that person over who may not have enjoyed listening to who you truly are, you lost the person who would have loved to listen to who you really were, who you really are. So instead of trying to fake it until you make it, instead of trying to put on this front or this facade to attract people who aren't your people, just be you. Like, go through life being you. Go through life figuring out what it is that you want out of this life. And if anything, work on to develop your paradigm and increase your, perspective on life, and your outlook and your emotions of gratitude, and being grateful and finding the good in others, and like work on yourself for that, to better your perspective. Because see, our environment is is determined by our own mental attitude. It's by our own perception. It's how we perceive it, each of us. So that's one thing that we can control, is our energy, our effort, our choices, but also our attitude. We might not be able to control every external circumstance that occurs in our life, but we can control how we respond to those external circumstances. And those simple daily disciplines and those choices that ultimately create our habits and who we are as a person. We work on those things for ourselves and the value that we can add to the people around us. And yeah, and the value that you can add to other people, but the right people who were looking for that unique sense of value that you offer in a way that only you can offer it because of who you are and your goals and your ambition and the inspiration that you have to live the best life that you want to live because it's the way you want to live it, which can be completely different to someone else and what they want out of life and the way they're going after their journey or their game of life, and the way others may perceive them may be different than how they perceive you, but it doesn't mean anything less about who you are, who that person is. It's determined by the person who's perceiving it. So, like, don't live your life according to others' perception of you and what they're going to think about you, because the next person may think something completely different. You got to live your life determined on what it is that you want. And when you can get clarity on what it is exactly that you want out of this life, like for me, like I talked about yesterday, it's just freedom. I just want to be free. I want to do the things that I want to do when I want to do them with the people I want to do them with, the people I love and care about. I want to be able to be there, a present father to my kids. I want to be able to provide and protect them. I don't want to be stuck at a job. I don't want to be listening to another human being tell me when I can eat lunch or have to ask their permission to take a trip with my kids, or like that's important to me. Some people may not be as important to. But like that's my unique perspective on this life is I want freedom. I want a fully autonomous lifestyle. So that's what I became passionate about, and my passion aligned with my purpose, which is helping other people who are like me. Not everybody. Everybody's not going to want the same thing that I want, which is okay. I don't think less of somebody because they enjoy their job and like the security of a paycheck, and then that they're content with that. They love what they do. I don't think less of those person. I don't think less of those people at all. It's just we're all on different journeys in life. I respect them all just the same. But when I share my vision for life, when I share my purpose, and when I'm passionate about that, it is in hopes to attract the people that have that same philosophy, the same mentality. Like I said, some may look at me as being annoying that I talk about freedom. They're like, yeah, it must be nice. You don't have a job. He hasn't had a job in 8 years. Whoa, good for him. Some people may be like, hey, man, that's what I want. I freaking miss my kid. I'm tired of seeing my kid cry when I pull out the driveway. I remember leaving the house at 5 p.m. to work 12-hour shifts at night and, you know, missing the opportunity to tuck my kids at night, to say prayers with them at night, to be at the house if the wolf should come to the door to protect my family, to protect my kids. And that was the thing that I did not like. And to be able to say, to be able to be there for them means everything to me. Just to be in proximity with my family and just to be close by, to protect them, to be able to provide for them, to be able to like I gave my daughters for Christmas. My wife and I we uh, they opened up this envelope and it was tickets to Hollywood. Like my daughters wanted to go to LA. So just to have the ability to say, hey, guess what, guys? In April, we're going to take you to Beverly Hills. We're going to take you to Hollywood, Rodeo Drive. We'll go shopping. We'll go just experience that. And I didn't have to ask some other man, hey, would it be okay? Can I have off on April 21st through the 25th? I didn't have to do that. That, to me, to not have to do that is everything. And to be able to have the means to provide, to be able to do that with my kids, is important to me. So like that, so when you have the clarity of what it is that you actually want in this life, then you have to become the person who can accomplish those things. So you're becoming valuable, you're becoming the one who can have those things in life. So it's not that you're doing it for anybody else or what you're doing matters how others perceive it. It doesn't matter. You're becoming the person who can accomplish the things that you want in this life. And yes, sometimes that means becoming more valuable so that you can add more value to the marketplace. So you can be compensated in proportion to that. So you can have the ability to have those options and choices, and sometimes that takes financial compensation. Sometimes that takes, time freedom. And sometimes that may not take those things if that's not what you want in this life. But for me, it was what I wanted. It was what I wanted. But we all have the ability to become who it is that we desire to become. We all have the capabilities to um, acquire the things in this life that we want to acquire. Why would God put these dreams in your heart if they weren't possible for you to attain? He wouldn't. I don't believe he wouldn't. I don't believe God is a God who puts all these nice things on this earth to say, hey, well, that's just for those people. That's not for you. No, we can have an abundant life if that's what we desire. We just have to become the person that can add the value for that to, you know, come back to us. But how other people perceive the journey that we're each on, our unique, story, our unique um, game of life. I look at it like a game. I look at like we're like these avatars. We're just like if you were playing a video game. Like you're the main character. You're the hero of your story. You can dress it up how you want. You can cut the hair how you want it to be. You can look the way if you want to be stronger, go work out. If you want your avatar to be thinner, lose some weight. If you need help with that, I got something. I'm just kidding. But I'm just saying, like, you can design yourself however you want. You can become whoever you want. You can go wherever you want. You can do whatever you want to do. But from day one, we get stuck into this simulation. We get stuck into this, well, this is how it's supposed to be. That don't climb up on that coffee table. That's a coffee table. That's not meant to climb up on. I saw a video yesterday, Kanye West and Steve Jobs. It was going back and forth between the two of them, just talking about how we're so conditioned from the beginning of our life until to like we have these walls and we have these boundaries, and we're supposed to just live within this like simulation. This is what you're supposed to do. You go to school, you get good grades, you go here, you get you a job, you go do this, you go do that, and you just live the life that is like this box, this square box that people are put in, and then they just think this is what I'm supposed to do. But let's be honest with ourselves, guys. I mean, outside of breaking the law, outside of living, you know, yes, we have moral and ethical boundaries that we shouldn't, break. We have legal boundaries that we shouldn't, you know, break necessarily. But outside of that, I mean, think of the freedom that you actually have to just be who you want to be. And as you go through this life, it's like I think when we get older, I think the I think the older we get and the closer we get to dying, we realize, golly, man, there was so much more I could have done. There was so many more risks I could have taken. And so don't look at like when you're making decisions in life, don't necessarily think what's the risk in making this decision. Also contemplate what's the risk in not making this decision. What's the risk in not trying? Everything's a risk. Jim Rome says life's a risk. None of us are getting out of this alive, right? Life, I mean, we're not getting out alive. Let's freaking enjoy it while we're here. Quit holding the weight of other people's opinions about what it is you're doing in life or the decisions you're making. I know leaders, I can think of leaders right now in my last company that that are like getting sucked into this new business because they're being enticed to like follow the crowd. They know for a fact. they could come over here with us and the group that we have and win and crush it and have an awesome team and like and be inspired to live a healthier life and lose weight and have a great story and win and have earn a lot of money and have a great team of people who are winning, but they're so concerned with their like former leadership and their previous company and these relationships that they built of what those people are going to think about them if they were to go do that. And then like, and I was there and I, to be transparent, I was concerned with the same things, but I still ended up having to make that hard decision and move on. But what I learned after, what these people thought, like the people who truly cared about me and who loved me for who I was, and it was genuine care about me as a person, they wished me the best. They're like, dude, go high five, man. Go do what you got to do for your family. Go crush it. Like, live your best life and do what you got to do and still have great relationships with those people. And some of them now are partnered up with this and working together, which is exciting. But the ones who like had like this cult mentality and like, oh, he's a villain now because he's not doing what we're doing, or I don't care for this person anymore um because he's not contributing to my life anymore. Like I'm not getting anything from this person. He's not making me money anymore. So now he's worthless. Like to experience that and to realize that when like, oh my gosh, like from the outside looking in, I still see it today. I see it with people who are still caught in that kind of bubble and they just it's hard and I understand it's hard to understand that because they're inside of it. It's like when you're cornering somebody in a fight. When you're in the fight, yeah, you see things, some things, but when the guy cornering you from the corner, he sees, hey, every time you throw that right hand, dude, you're dropping your left. That's why he keeps hitting you. That's why, or every time, you know, whatever. I can think of a million analogies, but I'm just saying like it's easier to see things from the outside looking in, to see blind spots, to see things that are happening rather when you're in the fight. When you're inside the bubble, you're just kind of caught up. You don't really see it. And it's unfortunate. And it's almost sad and it's like disheartening because you're like, man, these people could kill it here. Like I know people that'd be freaking 6 figure a month earners like in no time because of their influence and their capabilities and their leadership potential. And it's oh, like I just want to see them win so bad, but they're so caught up and they're just, and I get it, man. I see it all. I understand. I understand all the different, reasons from all different angles. I see it. It's cool. I mean, it's whatever. I believe God will put the right people in your life that are meant to be with you on that journey. And some people aren't. Some people aren't. Some people are with you for a reason. Some people are with you for a season. Some people you learn lessons from, and then you move on. Um, And some people won't understand your grind. Some people won't understand your determination because they don't have the same dreams that you have. God hadn't put the same dreams in their heart. Some people look at you like you're freaking insane because you're on Facebook Live on a freaking Wednesday at lunchtime talking about all this stuff. And they're on their lunch break at work and they're pissed off and they're like, who's this dude? Or what's he talking about? Like this, it's just complete different perspectives in life. But that doesn't matter. Doesn't change who I am. Doesn't matter. It doesn't. That's not because of who I am. It's just because of their perspective, which doesn't make them a bad person. They're just on a different journey with you know, different philosophies. Your philosophy and how you see life determines how you feel and your emotions, and how that will determine the actions you take and the decisions you make daily, which will determine the results that you get in life. But it all comes back to your upbringing and your conditioning because that's what creates your philosophy. What you're inputting into your mind every day, what you're reading, and who you're listening to, who you're associating with. That's all develops your philosophy and your perception and how you perceive life. I may think something about some person that another person may think a different thing about that person. I don't tend to judge people because I'm open-minded enough to understand why people believe the things they believe, why they live the way they live. I don't judge people. If someone may they may take a different approach on life. They may feel differently about current events going on. I don't mean that. I don't dislike that person just because I don't agree with them. I understand. Hey, that's because of their upbringing. Their parents probably taught them to think that way, or they may just perceive life differently. Who cares? That doesn't make them a bad person. It just makes them different than me. But it's okay. Like, who cares, man? Love people the way they are. Just love, like, I love people, man. I just love people and I love life. I love the ability that we have to create the life that we want, to create who we want to be as individuals. I love the fact that we have so many options, so many things that we can do. It's like a big playground that we're on. Like a big earth is just like this big playground. And it's, yes, there's difficulty mixed with opportunity. Sometimes there's more opportunity than difficulty. Sometimes there's more difficulty than opportunity. Sometimes there's recession. Sometimes there's expansion. And, Jermon says not to think so is naive. It's all part of it. It's polarity. You can't have dark without light. You can't have light without dark. You can't have up without down, forward without backwards. You know, it's like everything has its opposite. Everything Everything does. But that's what makes it exciting. You can't be happy if there wasn't a sadness to compare it to. You can't have lies if there wasn't truth. You can't have, I mean, everything has polarity in life. That's what makes it interesting. Yes, there's going to be struggles in your life. Yes, there's going to be adversity to overcome. Think if you watched a movie. Think if you turn it on Netflix. Oh, the number one movie in the country right now is XYZ. You watch the movie. Do you think the movie's just going to be happy the whole time, just all the way through? Or do you think there may be a little suspense? There may be some drama in the mix. There may be some scary moments that happen or some adversity that the hero has to overcome. That's what makes it exciting. That's what makes the ending so spectacular is because they made it. Think of your life like a book and you're just going through the chapters. Yes, right now maybe you may be going through some crazy just stuff in your life, some hard times. I've been through some shit too, man. I know what it's like. I remember when I had these comic books when I was a kid. If my buddy Zach's listening, so if anybody knows Zach Mott, tag him in this. His older brother Josh used to have all these comic books, and I'd spend the night at Zach's house, and he'd have all these comic books, and so he would hook us up with these comic books. And I remember sometimes reading these comic books, and like let's just say like the superheroes in a fight in the beginning, like they're just going through like whatever adversity, conflict. Well, I remember like sometimes I would just peek at the back of the book to see if he is alive still, because then I know I don't have to worry if he's gonna die. That sounds silly. Or sometimes I may not accidentally not want to see the end of the book because I like to not know what's going to happen in the middle of the book. Like if he's going to die or if he's going to make it through. Your life's kind of like that. I can promise you, if you took a peek at the end, if you got a little glimpse of the last chapter of your life, you're going to be all right. Life's going to be good. So don't fear when you're in the conflict. You're still in the back of the book winning. Enjoy the conflict and the adversity, and don't ask yourself, why is this happening to me? Ask yourself, why is this happening for me? Where's the growth that's going to come from this situation? What's the lesson I can learn throughout this adversity? One thing you should definitely not think is what someone else is thinking about your journey. If someone's worried about you, they don't need to be worried about you. They need to be worried about why they're worried about you. Live your life. Don't be concerned with the wolves aren't concerned with the opinion of sheep. Just do your thing. Live life the way you want to live it. That's going to make you the most fulfilled. And there's nothing like impacting other people. There's no better fulfillment than adding value to someone else's life. They say the secret to living is giving. because what you do for yourself dies when you do, but what you do for other people lives on forever. And when you get a taste of that, when you get a taste of, and I talked about this yesterday, when you get a taste of making someone else's life better because you played some sort of role in even the smallest role in their success or in their happiness, I mean, what else more do you want? Like, there's no better feeling. I remember being, going to these events, like big events for our company. And like, it's one thing when you go up on stage, and I've been up there, I've talked in front of thousands of people on stage, many, many times and been recognized for accolades and achievements and stuff like that. And it's great. It feels great. But it does not even come close to comparing to when someone on your team, someone that you may have been there when they got started, someone who you saw go through adversity and you were there to maybe mentor them or guide them because you've already gone through that stuff, which is another reason it's important to go through these struggles and trials and adversity, because when the next person's going through those things, you could say, hey, this is what I did, this is how I overcame this, I've been through this too, I've walked through this minefield already. Just follow my footsteps. I got your back. You can lead them. You can't lead someone somewhere you've never gone before. And when they win and you see them have success, ah, you talk about emotion. You talk about a sense of accomplishment. Think of the difference between you hitting a home run in a baseball game or watching your child crush a home run in a baseball game. Or like someone that you taught, or like, you know what I mean? It's just like, man. So that's what we have to look forward to become the best version of ourselves, to inspire someone else to become the best version of their self, or to be able to share something with someone who can it can inspire them to live a better life, or maybe to live a healthier life, or to make better decisions in their family or their relationships, because maybe a poor decision you made and the consequences that you suffered, you may be able to tell a friend, hey, look, I understand where you're at in life, and I know you're kind of at the crossroad, and you could do this and you can do that. Well, from experience, I did this, and this is how it turned out. So there's nothing wrong with learning from someone else's mistakes. In fact, it's better to learn from someone else's mistakes so you don't have to make the same mistakes. So follow people who are where you want to be in life. Follow people who are your people. That doesn't mean everybody's going to follow those same people, because those people may not be for everybody, just like you may not be for everybody. But if you live your life and become the best version of yourself and understand what you want and become the most valuable that you can become, when you get up on your mountaintop and you share that story, when you help other people up, you bring somebody else up on the top of the mountain and say, hey, look, this is where this person's at. And like, you help share their story, and other people get inspired and other people want to be a part of that journey. You kind of create your tribe, and you just get fired up about life, man. It's just so it's just so awesome. Life is amazing. And if you don't feel that it is right now, then there's things that you have to work on inside of here. Don't look for don't relinquish control of your happiness to external circumstances. Become who you want to be, for who you because that's who you want to be. The right people will follow. So I think I made my point. I didn't mean to talk so long. I'll get fired up, man. Every day I hit live and I'm thinking I'm going to talk for 5 minutes, and I've been talking for 40. So those who tuned in, oh, look at all these people. I didn't even see the comments. Jack, hey, what's up? Sam, what's up, my brother? Michael Catalano, what's up, dude? Bill Patterson, amen. Jackie, hey. All right, cool. Sorry about that. Sorry I didn't give you guys shout out sooner. But anyway, I'm gonna jump off of here. Much love. God bless. Sorry for rambling. Hope you have a great Wednesday. Take care.